Donna, we decided this is our first one. It's been a while. And one thing I want to talk about is why we're doing this is because there are many people on their journey. And when you started your journey, I started my journey, and I had some ups and downs. How about yourself?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, first of all, isn't life all about ups and downs anyway? So when you start a journey of the unknown, because you don't know what you don't know, we thought we knew what we were starting the journey on, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know. So of course, yes.
Yeah. So I'd had some serious ups, I had some serious downs. So one thing I wish is that I had someone or someone like ourselves, because you're a life transformational relationship coach, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm a life spiritual transformational coach. So I wish I had two people I could just go to and listen to and say, hey, here's that. And there's more than likely there is. It's just it wasn't in my experience of me starting out. So us being here to provide some stuff from our story and also internalize so we can help other people in their journey. That's why we're doing this. So I'm
Right.
looking forward
And
to
I
it.
have to say, to complete honesty here, at one point in my life, not so far in the distant past, it was maybe 3 years ago, I couldn't even tell you what a life or relationship coach was or a health coach. I knew what a personal trainer was, but a coach, when somebody says, oh, you need a life coach, it's like, who needs a coach for life? You need life,
You know what, as well with a relationship coach, right? Because you have to be the middle person in between that. Whether you're working with one or you're working with both, it's like a lot of people are like, why would I need someone else in my relationship? Because they can help.
The
And
relationship is with you first and foremost.
yes, yes. And I had to agree with you. 3 years ago, yeah, no, I was completely blind to all of this world. So it's a huge difference. I'm glad to go through that experience. It was a rough patch, but I'm glad to get through that experience to get to here. So one lesson that I had to learn the hard way was in order to be a great teacher, you must have to first be a great student. Mm, yeah. And where I lost on that is that I was rushing to be the teacher. When we just talked about 3 years ago, it's like this was just clueless. But I dived in, went into all the trainings, went to be a client, all these different things, and then I was rushing and I had to slow down. I'm like, oh, it's best to drop that ego and listen.
Oh. Well, you realize when you have a client that as you're teaching them and you're learning from them, you're like, that's where it goes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think what do they call it? Teach, learn, teaching. So
Yeah.
we're teaching, we're learning at the same time. But I think it was more so just humbling myself for me to say, okay, I received this information. And I think you're doing as well. Like you receive the information, and best practices is to go practice it, right?
Right.
So I was just gaining all this knowledge. I'm like, let me just spew it out. And it just like just threw up everywhere. And everyone's like, no, I don't want this. Leave me alone. So
That's part of the learning curve, don't you think?
yes, it is. I've been humbled by it, so I'll absolutely say it is part of the learning curve, which is why I want to have this discussion. So when someone's starting this process of this journey, it's you humbling yourself and being willing to listen and adhere to what people are saying. Because, oh, Donna, I could have skipped so many mistakes.
Let's reframe that. No, that was you being the student. You learned.
Thank you. Thank you. So I guess we're done here, everyone. You go. No, no, but seriously, it's going and listening to people who've been on their journey, which is we've done through our trainings, through some spiritual work, through some retreats. We've done the same thing where we kind of slowed down and allowed ourselves to be the students and just sit there and like, oh my gosh, this is what our life is going to be like. And while we just start off, we was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot.
Right, but do you ever get, because I get this, and I'm wondering if you do you ever get why people ask you, well, why are you going to go to more training? Why don't you just coach? Why do you have to learn more?
Yes. So that's a good point. So a lot of people say, well, oh, this is a challenge because sometimes you could get stuck in that student mode. So because
Yeah,
imposter syndrome could come up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. I need to learn. I need to learn. I need to learn. And you don't take those steps to like practice what you've been learning. What's it? Barry White, practice what you preach.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, and depending on what you're learning and depending on what type of learning you're going through, they usually have you do a practical, I mean, you have to actually do in order to get through it.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? What's wild is I don't think everybody has a learning platform like that to where they actually do action steps. It's
Yeah.
fortunately we did. Fortunately, we had some skills.
And with each other,
Exactly.
fortunately.
Fortunately, we were able to work with each other on that. So a lot of people don't have that, but learning and continue learning, as you're saying, being that student, and we're gonna be a student for life. It's
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
expanding, right? It's expanding our knowledge because the moment we feel that we know it all, there goes that ego.
Well, do you know what I literally just read this today. And sorry, I'm talking with my pen. I literally read this today is that you only age when you choose to stop learning.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, that falls into a bad paradigm many people have. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh, please. Yeah. Rough, rough. You certainly
That is probably one of the worst things when it comes down to being a student. If you feel that you know it all and you're like, this is just who I am, sometimes we need to change who we are. And this is speaking from personal experience. Sometimes we just change who we are, and that becomes to stepping down as not knowing it all and becoming a student again to life.
Well, yeah, opening up your mind a little bit to, wow, I may not know all of this. I think I do, but you know what? I just learned something new today.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is it like whenever you go through let's say for instance, you sign up for a training and you go through the training, what's that vibe like every time you from the process of signing up to it to completing it, and then what do you do after?
You know what? It's funny that you say that because it doesn't matter what I sign up for. I always get that anxiety because you just said imposter syndrome. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be able to do this? And I get, it's that negative self-talk that you get in your head. It's a human nature thing that most people get. I mean, if you don't get it, God bless you. I don't know. I mean, you got something going on. But it starts out with that anticipation, that anxiety, and like, what if I can't do this? Not so much what if I can't, how am I going to get through this? You kind of wonder because you pile it all on. You start to go through it and want to learn and absorb it all at once when you've been told time and time again, it's a process. Like enjoy the journey, soak it all in as you go. But it's like, no, I got to learn this. And you put that pressure on yourself. Do you find you put pressure on yourself?
Yes, I have. I absolutely have. This is what I think we were on a phone call you and I had a while back. I said I'm going to be a client now. I've been doing all the student processing. I've been doing the coaching process. I was like, I want to be a client. So this is where I could do my work, right? So
Yeah.
putting on that pressure. Oh yeah, you absolutely know I put a lot of pressure on myself when we started. So pulled back from that and just completely humbled myself so I could be a student, because one of the coaches that I'm working through their program right now, they brought that question up and I was like, or not a question, they brought that statement of that in order to be a great teacher, you have to first be a great student. And I was like, and I processed it myself that, that negative self-talk we was talking about. Wait, am I a great student? Am I not a great teacher? And I said, oh, you're a shit student. It's time to change this so you can be a great teacher. So I took a step back. This is why I removed myself from social media, did all these things so I could become a great student in order for me to provide things like this to other people who are on their journey, because it is a journey.
It's a journey, and a big part of the journey, which sounds so easy, but it isn't, is that you have to listen. Just listen and absorb. Just take it all in. It's not going to happen overnight. Listen.
That is the part of we're gonna get to another segment of that, but we're bringing it in here right now. Is that rushing, being hastily, because you will burn yourself out. You'll lose hope. You'll lose faith because you're rushing to get there. You said it earlier, as everyone said, enjoy the journey. When you're in it, it's like, how am I supposed to enjoy this?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, there's just so much to do and you want to learn it all and you feel the imposter syndrome. But then, in going through actual NLP, and when Dr. Matt said this about imposter syndrome, which it drove the point home, it may not drive the point home to you yet because you're not a parent, but he said, any parents in the room, did you know how to be a parent when, you were pregnant, when you were going through it? You don't. And when you had that baby, did you feel like you were an imposter? No, you're a parent. You learn along the way.
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it. So would it help if we like put a hat on, like literally say I'm a student and then take my hat off, say, okay, I'm a coach. Would that act, do you think that would help somebody?
Well, no, and we should actually have a hat that is a student and a coach at the same time. Because again, when you're coaching somebody, you learn something from them. You take away something from everybody you encounter. That's how I feel.
You know when my most creative time comes is when I'm doing a session and I'm being a coach, but I'm also being a student because something that they need is something inside me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm creating something specifically for this person now. So it's literally me learning at the same time of how to be creative by listening to what's happening as being a coach. So I'm gonna get
Yeah.
a coach say just a hat that says coach slash student. That'll work out.
Don't they say that when there's something in somebody else that it triggers us or that we might dislike or something, it's something within us.
Yes.
So when someone that we're coaching says or does something that feels some sort of way, then maybe we have our own stuff to deal with. So yeah, you do learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's that mirroring effect, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning. Is there anything you would do different? All right, let's say, for instance, today, would there be a word of advice you would give Donna 3 years ago?
And I know what I know today.
Yeah, and you know what you know today. If you were to talk to Donna 3 years ago.
I mean, if I could have backed it up and said, Donna, you should have done this a long time ago, I would have, but no.
Yeah, no, some positive.
No. What I would tell Donna 3 years ago is, you're going to be opening up a whole new realm. And this is a new chapter in your life. Enjoy it, breathe, take it all in. You are going to learn it. It is going to land. All the dust is going to settle and make sense. In the interim, don't panic because it doesn't. It's like a big puzzle that you can't seem to put together until you do.
Yeah, I think mine is similar. I'm not gonna bite off yours, but mine is similar.
You can.
But because when you say it's the beginning of it's a new chapter, it's like literally when you start a book and it's a new chapter, you're not getting to the back of the chapter without going to the first part of it. So the advice I would give to myself is shut up. No, I wouldn't say shut up. I'd say, what would mine be?
Listen.
Yeah, no, mine would be listen. Same thing as shut up. A nice way of saying
It's a better way.
it's a better way of saying it. No, mine would be to take your time. Like be in the now, be present, take your time. Because when you rush it, what happens is you draw on fear rather than the feeling of love. And you don't want to get caught into like, I need to do this, I need to do that. So it's bringing it back to being present, just like you said, the chapter. It's a new chapter, it's a new beginning. And our coach, Stacy, would say you have to be willing to suck before you get better, right? We have to be willing to go through the suck.
What did she say? Enjoy the suck or something like that?
Yeah. In order to get through, we had to enjoy the suck. And speaking of which, let's just briefly talk about our appreciation moment in our journey. This is what we're going to do. We're going to share appreciation. Appreciation is one of the biggest things other than forgiveness that just helps people stay in alignment. So another thing that I would suggest to do is give appreciation early. Give appreciation early in our journey. So anyone watching this, give appreciation early. Health Coach Institute, Stacy and Carrie. We wouldn't be having this podcast or this session, this talk right now if it wasn't for them, because we both signed up for Health Coach Institute and we signed up for the same cohort and didn't even know it, right?
We didn't know it, and that's how we got to meet, which is great. Thanks to Stacy and Carrie for that too. I mean, we got to meet, and really, it was an interesting journey to say the least.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. It's we have our highs, we have our lows. We've been just pushing stuff out there and showing up, and I just want to be thankful for them because that journey we went through the life and health coaching first, and then we decided when we went to Dallas for our conference, and it was like, okay, mastery, transformational coaching. And it was, I remember the day, you don't have to share the story, but I remember the day super excited. And I was like, what? That happened? Let's go. And since then we became Skills Lab partners and just been working on several things together. So I am thankful for Health Coach Institute for the training. Thankful for our friendship. I'm thankful for the just moving forward from where we went to. So go ahead.
And you know what? I, all of that, I second all of what you said. But to add to that, it's the warm fuzzies that I felt when I initially watched the videos of Health Coach Institute, of Stacy and Carrie, and those, you know, little snippets in the videos. And then when I got to meet them in person, very personable, very warm, very caring, actually want to help you succeed and walk you through the paces. And that I appreciated more than anything, is that because you could go anywhere to learn to be a health and life coach and to get your certification, I felt a special connection with HCI. So I'm very grateful for them.
That's good. Can I share a quick story?
Yeah.
In 2018, 2019, I actually looked up I think I shared this with you, a life and health coach. And I looked it up. I had the phone call and everything where someone gave me the spiel, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And fear, based on what everyone else believed about me leaving my career and going to something else, it stopped me, completely stopped me. And then when 2020 went through that whole process, I'll share that with another session or a story that we share. But completely took me right back to Health Coach Institute. It wasn't a different company, and I looked at other companies, but there's nothing that resonated with me with other than Health Coach Institute. So I'm there with you. It was the warm and fuzzies, especially when I was at a conference in live. I was like, yes, this is fun.
Oh, they were remarkable. I mean, they were so much the live conferences. You could feel the energy in the air. Of all the people in the room having the same like mindset. It was just, the energy was amazing. It's always good, always fun.
That makes a difference. And with that being said, that's the whole first part that we're talking about, is being a student. So whenever you're ready to sign up for becoming a life health coach, transformation, mastery coach, it's being a great student. Just remember to be a great student. So
yeah,
that's what I'll say. Okay.
What you said.
What you said. But yeah, so that's going to be our number one for this time, is just speaking on being a great student so you can become a great teacher. Listen, slow down, and just put on that hat as a student for a little while at least.
Enjoy the journey. Enjoy it.
That's sometimes that could be easier said than done, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, you just get so caught up that it is hard to, you know what they say, you know, stop and smell the roses. You really do need to stop. It goes by so quickly. And when we look back, you're like, wow, I mean, I really didn't know anything. And now look, I mean, look at how far we've come. So you just enjoy it. It's going to happen. You are going to learn, and you're going to continue to learn. So just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Smell the roses. Literally take some time out and stop. And if you don't have roses in your garden, whatever, stop, go outside. Exact coffee, right? Go out and enjoy the present moment. So,
Yeah.
Donna, once again, always appreciative. And we're going to be here on the next one as well. So where can everyone find you?
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I have a landing page up. I do need to tweak it a little. So they can find me at donnagonzalez.coach. Email donnacoach427@gmail, or I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me anywhere. You can find me through you even.
Yes, exactly. Same here.
Where can I find you?
Mine's going to be livelifecommunity.com. You can check me out on there, Simeon and Donna on Instagram. But yeah, we're going to be here, and it's more than likely going to be here at the bottom with us. But this is our first chat. We just want to talk about how to be a student so you can become a great teacher. But this journey, as Donna says, is smell the roses, take your time, do not rush it, because then you won't be a great student, or you won't be a great teacher. So yes.
Yeah, it can be fun. I mean, you know, you can stress your way through it, or you can kind of have fun. How many skills labs did we laugh through? I mean, really?
All of them. I don't think there was one that we didn't laugh through. That was it. That we did what Stacey said. We were willing to suck. We had to go through the suck. We enjoyed the suck to get through the good part of it.
Oh, I remember one time when I really sucked.
You did great. It was a great skills lab. It was, we were just in our own head. It was like, oh yeah, okay. And I think I told you one time, I was like, Don, I think today's gonna be when I suck. I don't have the energy for this. It's like, this is gonna suck. This is not gonna be
When
great.
you're in the middle of it and you say, I just truly lost what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, fortunately, we're able to do that now, but think of it now. This is, let's go back to it. Think of it as we were students, right? We're still students today. But if you have a coaching session right now, you don't even need, well, you take notes, but you don't even need the notes. If your client says something, you know exactly already how to reframe or pull them to the other side of whatever negative self-talk they're going through or just beating up on themselves. So you've been a great student. We went through that suck to be here now. That's it. That's
Yes. Yeah.
it. So we had to, that was our journey. And like I said, we look back at where we are today compared to where we were then. We didn't really know much.
Yeah. Well, think about what 3 years from today, you're going to be looking back today saying, I know so much more now.
Yeah. And then we're going to look at this recording like, what was I doing? But it's this is the gift of it. It's a journey. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go smell some roses. We're gonna go enjoy the rest of our day, and hopefully this helps you that you're watching this. Be a great student, so you become a great teacher. These are the best leaders in the world. They always had someone to teach them and guide them, and hopefully Donna and I can be those, that segment or that entities, whatever, for you on your journey. This is our purpose of giving back to more people who are on theirs because we're still on ours.
Absolutely.